Hey guys, how's it going? Comparing here. So the week race has ended, and as a result, I want to show you guys my character that I ended up with, and kind of the journey that I got to where it is, so you guys can, understand some of the things that I have, done with this character and how they have changed, and how my experiences in maps have reflected my initial goal of the build. So originally, I mentioned the summoner build in a video a few days ago. When it was kind of in its early stages, and the idea is pretty good. So, if you use minion instability and you use your zombies with chance to ignite, elemental prolif, and added fire, they do very good AoE damage compared to zombies just, being stacked with things people normally use, like minion damage, minion life, stuff like that. On the other side, this character was made to complement one of our fellow party members, who is doing a detonate dead build, which does significant fire damage, and the main problem with that build is that sometimes the monsters have too many resists, so as a result I ended up getting the one additional curse, and I'm using the one additional curse ring, so I get to use 3 curses, and the choice curses I typically use are elemental weakness, flammability, temporal chains, and I also have elemental equilibrium, which can also further penalize the resistances, and to trigger that I use a low-level Ice Nova with high quality for the increased area of effect, with Culling Strike so I can get some kills and I can get some flask charges, and faster casting because I want to cast it more. So ideally I do Curse, 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 Nova, and then I run around and everything dies around me. That's kind of the idea of the build. And it turned out pretty well. I changed a few things with the gem, but not too significantly. It mostly had to do with the fact that I initially wanted to use Totem for my Ice Nova, but that wasn't really realistic because the monsters were dying way too fast. And putting a spell on a totem makes the cast timer longer for the totem itself, and then the totem has to cast the ability. So instead of that, I just decided to go a little bit more tanky, and I ended up going all the way to Iron Reflex, and I got some life regen so I can take the damage. But since I have Eldritch Battery as well, I'm able to use Arctic Armor. Although I have very little armor on my actual gear, because I have Inner Force combined with Grace and Determination, my passive armor is over 7,000 with Arctic Armor. It's pretty good physical mitigation, and when I need to I can pop a Granite, which puts me at almost 30,000 armor. Now, survivability-wise, the build doesn't have that much life, but considering the fact that I'm using a ring that is pretty much a dead slot for survivability, and the fact that I have extremely low strength as part of the build, the life is sufficient. I noticed that I almost got one-shotted by a Chaos Crit Snake in one of the maps, so I decided to stack some Chaos Resistance to supplement the low amount that I have on my gear. Those are pretty much the only things that I've changed with the build. But in the rest, it's been fairly close to what I had planned, getting mostly the minion damage nodes. You see I skipped the life nodes. I maybe plan to get those later, and the next thing I would have gotten is this minion damage node after the minion life node. In a party, the zombies and the skeletons act very well to just eat hits. So when there's monsters that do tons of projectile damage, the zombies and the skeletons and all that crap just gets in the way, so your party members and you don't take almost any damage, and it works pretty well. The main issue is that when you do take damage, you have to use your potions to keep you alive, and because this character doesn't do that much killing, I mean, yes, it kills the rares with Culling Strike from the Ice Nova, it kills the bosses with Culling Strike. When it comes to just general mobs, sometimes it can be pretty hard to score a kill, so that's why the zombies are very important, because they supplement your ability to get potion charges on top of the Ice Nova Culling Strike effect. So in a group build, it's very, very strong. I mean, elemental weakness 57%, flammability 48%. We're at 105, and then you add on top of that the elemental equilibrium, so the monsters have minus 155 fire resist, and the ignite triggered by your zombies and the ignite triggered by the other party members in the group is doubled in duration because of temp chains. And also we had a sparker in the group with dual spark totems, and while they don't have the full 155 minus resists, they have 57 from elemental weakness and 50 from elemental equilibrium as well, because my equilibrium is against cold, so it buffs fire and it buffs lightning. And they also benefit from the temporal chains, because the temporal chains doubles the duration of the shock effect. While it doesn't reduce the threshold for it to trigger, it does allow you to propagate them and refresh them more and more because they last longer. So through that synergy, we were able to clear maps faster than anyone. I got like 11th overall in the end, which is pretty good because I didn't really play very much. I don't actually know how much I played. So I mean, 2 days, 11 hours for a week race is, it seems like a lot to some of you guys, but that's, you cannot expect to win with that playtime. So we did very, very well. But I just want to show you guys the build. In terms of solo potential, it's not really that good. It's pretty good against stuff like zombies. You can see I debuffed them, so the ignite just like melts them. So it kills stuff like zombies very, very well. Even though skeletons are fire resistant, it doesn't really matter because they have minus 155. So you can see that the zombie burn acts as an area of effect. I mean, these are champions here with endurance charges. You can see that they die pretty quickly. This is a level 19 zombie gem with +2, so obviously it's it's on the high end of what you'll see with this build. Ultimately, I thought it'd be best to use a +1 skill staff and use the current 4 links, the zombie with chance to ignite, elemental prolift, added fire, and on top of that, combine it with minion damage and believe it or not, remote mine, which will multiply all the damage by 1.6. So doing that should more than double the damage that the zombies do right now, and it should further be increased by the gem leveling up to the full base level of 20. So the clear speed is pretty good at zombies. The build is definitely very, very effective when it comes to just killing most monsters, while the zombies melee-wise compared to the other group's damage is fairly low. When the zombies do blow up, they trigger minion instability, and that damage is tremendous. Let me see if I can show you guys an example of that. So I'm going to re-equip my zombie gem here. Let me see if I can get this zombie killed. Oh, that's unlikely. That thing just got one-shotted. Well, I don't know if I can really show you guys this, but let me just give it a try here while I continue talking. So while most of these monsters do die fairly well, and the build is fairly effective in the general sense. I mean, you can see one zombie just killing this pack. The zombie just blew up, and did it die? Not quite. I think I should have frost novaed. But basically, in groups, when the zombies blow up from them dying, that's when they do the real damage. And because they act as a meat shield, that is pretty often going to happen. I mean, if they're going to take the hits, they're going to die, and they're going to kill everything around them. So it's pretty effective on that sense. And the problem is that when you face mobs like humanoids, they run away when they're burned. And because of this, it really, really sucks. Most of the damage that you're seeing is from the proliferate effect from the melee attack. Wow, look at that. Gem just leveled to 19. And when humanoids are burning, they run away. And because they run away, you do almost no damage. Let me see if I can show you guys this against some monkeys, but it may be a little bit too low level here. I'm not sure it'll have quite the effect that I'll try to show you. But in the general case, it wasn't really that impressive when it came to burning humanoids. You can see all the monkeys are running around, but that's mostly because the zombie got killed and blew them up real fast. But in general, it's very, very poor against killing humanoids, and in terms of a solo build, it's fairly weak, even though it seems all right in this place at least. The monkeys don't hit me for anything because of my Arctic armor and my decently high armor. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I think if you're organizing a group to try to win one of these week race or month races event, you definitely need a character that is providing this type of utility to the group. While I don't consider a build like this, really top tier, it's still almost essential. When it came to comparing this build to other support builds like the Wander can solo very well, as a matter of fact, and in a group environment is also very useful. So this character kind of is a little bit more useful in a group, but a little bit less useful in solo, and because of the crushing weaknesses when you have monsters that are like curse immune and humanoid and they run away, the efficiency soloing is so bad that I don't really consider this a top build. But it was fun nonetheless, even though perhaps watching me play it is fairly boring, just running around the map, cursing targets and blowing stuff up with zombies. It is a fairly effective way to play in a group in this game, and I hope maybe you guys want to try some kind of variation of the build if you're interested in playing summoners, because I think this is really the way to play a summoner, not so much basing you know, just the raw damage of minion melee and all the stuff that's been done before. So hopefully you guys enjoy the ideas that I've discussed in my build, and maybe make a summoner of your own. I'll see you guys tomorrow.